Hello. Oh, how I love this silence when the whole world stills and you're left alone with yourself. But I don't think blank silence ever truly exists. Even now, as I pause, something is making a sound very quietly somewhere. Maybe it's the refrigerator in the kitchen or the breath of the house itself. I think every house has its own voice. It's always speaking to us. We just don't always know how to hear it. It speaks in a whisper with gentle sounds, with barely perceptible sense. Shall we try to hear it together today? I'll tell you what melodies live in my house from dawn till dusk, and you can listen to yours. I wonder, are our house similar? It all begins in the morning with the most tender, most fragile melody, the one that wakes us up. It's not yet sounds, it's a feeling, the feeling of the room slowly getting brighter, and the first still cool light falling on your eyelids. You can lie there with your eyes closed and feel the darkness behind them become rosy, warm, and then the first sound appear very distant. Maybe it's the first bird outside the window trying out its voice, or the quiet hum of the radiators as the morning warmth runs through them. Or maybe the sound of the wind, which has spent all night outside and is now gradually quieting down. There are also sounds that only live in the very early morning. Footsteps in the apartment above. Someone is getting up for work. A distant car horn. The creak of the bed as you turn to the other side. And somewhere very far away, almost on the edge of hearing, a scent, the ghost of coffee that someone is brewing on the floor below, or the freshness of the morning air that has seeped through the slightly open window. The morning of a house, it's always so timid, so gentle, as if the house itself is still asleep and is only just beginning to wake up along with you. I wonder, what is the first note your morning strikes? Maybe is the patter of raindrops on the windowsill, or the purr of a cat demanding breakfast, or maybe the silence is so thick you can almost touch it. But then an hour pauses, another, and the house truly wakes up. The morning tenderness gives way to something fuller, more sonorous. The day comes into its own, and the house begins to breathe at full strength. During the day, the house lives its full life. It breathes, it works, it no longer speaks. in a whisper, but in a normal voice. The rhythmic ticking of a clock somewhere in the next room. This is the heartbeat of the house. It never stops. Tick tock, tick tock. A measured, calming rhythm. And during the day, the house listens to the wall. It listens through the windows. The sounds from the street come through muffled as if through cotton wood. Children's laughter in the yard. The rumble of cars. Someone conversations. The house lets them pass through itself, softens them, makes them part of its melody. And sometimes the house creates sounds itself. The rustle of curtains swayed by a draft. The quiet click of furniture expanding from the warmth, or the low hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. So familiar that you only notice it when it suddenly falls silent. And the sense during the day, they're completely different. The smell of cleanliness after tidying up, that fresh, almost weightless aroma, the smell of flowers on the windowsill, warmed by the sun, or cinnamon and cardamom from the kitchen cabinet, which have seeped through the closed door. And then there is this, the journey of a sunbeam across the floor. In the morning, it's there by the door. At noon, it moves to the window. By evening, it rests on the wall, and the floor beneath it is always little warmer. You can place your palm there and feel the tart warmth. During the day, the house is full of light. Even when you leave, it continues to breathe, continues to live. The clock ticks, the curtains sway, the sunbeam travels, and when you return, it greets you. It recognizes your steps on the stairs. Sometimes I think that the house misses us when we are gone and rejoices when we return. And then the day begins to lean towards sunset. The light outside the window changes. It becomes golden, then pink, then blue. And the house, the house changes too. It gets tired alone with us. It prepares for sleep. The evening is the quietest, most tender part of the symphony. In the evening, the house settles down. It stretches and sighs. Can you hear it? A floorboard somewhere clicked softly. Not because someone stepped on it, but just because on its own. That's the house say, I'm tired, I want rest. The evening sounds, they're completely different, more rounded, softer. Even the sounds from the street are muffled. Fewer cars, fewer voices. The whole world seems to turn down the volume. The rustle of pages in a book, You're turning the quiet creak of an armchair as you get comfortable. The distant whistle of a night train, so long, so lonely. Muffled voices through the wall. The neighbors are putting their children to bed. And sometimes in the evening, the house gives you perfect silence, the kind that doesn't exist, but in the evening it almost does. It's not emptiness, it's fullness, as if the house took a breath and held it, and the sense of the evening, they are the coziest, the wax of a cooling candle you lit on the table, the pages of a notebook that smell of time and stories, evening tea, chamomile or mint, the aroma relaxing even your thoughts. And in the evening, there is also this feeling, a feeling of completion. The day is lived, the tasks are done, you're home, you're safe, the walls round, you're stirred deep and familiar. The house embraces you with its warmth, its sounds, its shadows. In the evening, the house becomes a truly sanctuary, not just a place where you live, but a place where you can exhale. Take off all the masks. Be yourself. And everyone has such a sound or a scent or a feeling that means exactly this. I'm home. I'm safe. I can rest. I wonder, what is it for you? Maybe the creak of your favorite floorboard by the doorway, or the way your pillow smells, or maybe just the weight of the warm blanket you pull up to your chin. Morning, day, evening. This symphony plays in our home every day, and we get so used to it that we stop hearing it. But these sounds, this sense, these feelings, they don't come from nothing. Each of them has a source, and sometimes the most ordinary things, the ones we don't even pay attention to, hold more magic than you can imagine. You know, I was tidying up recently, going through shelves, sorting through drawers, and I found a few old things that it would seem should have been thrown out a long ago, but I can't. And every time I pick them up, I ask myself, why do I keep this? And then I understood, these are just things. They're keepers, keepers of stories, of feelings, of moments. They create my coziness, not because they're beautiful or useful, but because something important lives within them. Let me show you. No, not show you, tell you. Because the magic of these things isn't in how they look, it's in what they keep. The first one is an old seashell. It sits on a shelf between books, very small. It fits in my palm, rough on the outside, smooth on the inside. The color, it was once bright, I think cream with the pink sticks, and now it's faded as if bleached by the sun. I brought it back from, I don't even remember where exactly. Some sea, some summer, but I remember the feeling. I remember finding it on the beach among a million others. How I picked it up, brushed off the sand, how I put it to my ear to hear the sea, and you know, it worked. Not at that moment, of course. At that moment, I just heard a normal noise. The blood in my eyes, maybe. But now, when I take this seashell in my hands, I hear the summer. I hear the splash of the waves. I feel the salty wind. I feel the warm sand under my feet. This seashell, it's not just a pretty stone. It's a little jar of preserved sea sounds, a jar of time. And when I'm sad or cold, I can open it not physically, but just like this, by touching it, and go back there, at least for a moment. That's why I can't throw it away. It's not junk, it's a portal. Oh, here's another. In the farthest corner of the closet lies an old sweater. I almost never wear it. It's too big for me. The sleeves are long. The collar is staged. The color, it was one dark blue, I think. And now it's some kind of faded grayish blue. There is a hole in the elbow. This sweater, it wasn't mine. A person gave it to me when I was cold. Just like that. Took it off and handed it to me. And then we lost touch. Life scattered us in different directions. But this sweater remained. And sometimes on especially cold or sad days, I take it out. I put it on. I wrap myself in it. And do you know what I feel? I don't feel the cold fabric. I feel a hug, the warm, reliable hug of that person. The kindness, the care, that feeling when someone is ready to give you the last, just so you can be okay. This isn't a sweater, it's a portable hug. It's the memory that someone once cared for me, and as long as this sweater is with me, that care is with me too. That's why I can't throw it away. It's not old clothes, it's a piece of human warmth that you can wear. And another, a tiny little thing, an old movie ticket. It lies between the pages of the book, a piece of paper the size of my palm. The edges are frayed, the corners are bent, the numbers on it are always invisible now, faded. The date, the show time, the seat number, all worn away. I don't even remember what movie we saw, honestly, but I remember everything else. I remember how we were late for the start and ran into the theater when the lights were already down. How I stared on someone's foot in the dark. How we whispered and giggled, and people shushed us. I remember how we walked through the city at night out of the movie to talk about everything and nothing. Jam, hot chocolate from paper cuts, and it felt so good, so easy, as if the whole world belonged only to the two of us. This ticket is just a piece of paper, faded numbers, faded ink. You can't even read it, but it's it's like an anchor, and anchor that holds a whole cloud of memories. The moment I take it in my hands, I back there again. In that movie theater, on that street, in that moment of happiness. That's why I can't throw it away. It's not trash, it's a treasure map, a tiny key to a huge world. A seashell, a sweater, a ticket, just three things out of many. I have many more in my house. A box of letters, a faded postcard, someone's forgotten hair clip, a whole collection if you think about it. And each of them, it would seem, is not needed. It takes our space. It's time to throw it out. But that's not true. They don't take up space. They create space. Space for memory, for warmth, for connections with the past. They're keepers, keepers of my stories. And I guess in your house there are such keepers too. Things that it would seem make no sense, but you can't let them go because they keep something important, something that can't be measured or weighed. Maybe it's an old cup with a chipped edge, or a photograph that has long since faded, or a childhood toy hidden in the bottom of a door. a battered book with bent pages, a pebble brought back from a tip. These things, they create the invisible web of our coziness. They don't just lie off shelves or indoors. They breathe, they live, they tell us you're not alone. You have a history, you have love, you have memory. They make a house, a home, not just a place where we sleep and eat, but a place where our stories live. And you know what I realized when we talked about the sounds of the house, about the morning silence, the daytime breeze, the evening lullaby. We were talking about rhythm, about the pulse of life, the beats within the walls of our home. And when we talked about the things that keep, we were talking about memory, about what fills that house with meaning, rhythm, and memory, sound and story. This is what turns four walls into your home. But the most important thing, the most important thing I realized, coziness, it's not in the things themselves, not in the beauty or interior, not in expensive furniture or trendy decor. Coziness is the stories that we invest in our home. It's the sounds that we learn to hear. It's the sense that we remember. It's the things that we keep not because they need it, but because they are important. A house is not just a place. A house is a mirror of our soul. Think about it. The sounds you hear in your home are the rhythm of your life. Morning silence or morning hustle, daytime music or walk or daytime peace, evening quiet or evening conversations. It's a portrait of how you live. The things you keep are the map of your heart. Each thing marks a place where you were happy or sad or in love or learning. It's your personal geography of feelings. And when you create coziness in your home, you're not actually decorating the walls. You're taking care of your soul. You're telling yourself, it's important to me to feel good here. It's important for me to surround myself with warmth. It's important for me to keep what is dear to me. A home is not walls, a floor and a ceiling. A home is what we fill it with. Our memories, our habits, our sounds, our stories. The home is us, the most honest, the most real version of us. And You know what's the most wonderful thing about it? We can change it, and any moment you don't have to renovate or buy new furniture. It's enough to listen, to hear its voice, to understand what if it's time to tell you. Maybe your house is asking for more light. Open the curtains wide, or it's asking for silence. Turn off all the extra noise and listen to it breathe. Or it's asking for memory. Take old photos out of a box and hang them on the wall. A home is a living friend. It listens to you, and if you learn to listen to it, you will become truly close. Interesting. Maybe after our conversation, when silence falls in the room again, you will hear your home in a new way. You'll notice a sound you used to ignore. You'll remember the story of something you haven't paid attention to in a long time, and you'll feel how the house embraces you with its warmth. It always did that. It's just that now you know it. Thank you for going on this journey with me. I hope it was as warm for you as it was for me. Listen to your home and, of course, to yourself. I'm always happy for our meetings. See you soon.